Alrighty, so we are here to set up my new Lincoln 180 Dual. My dad's gonna help me.
Jeffrey Markham again.
Here. Scott Markham.
Dad.
With the GoPro chesty mount. He is gonna help me set up the gas, and then we're off to welding. So let's get going. Take this off.
Okay, always store your tanks with your caps on it so nothing happens to the valve in transit.
Store and transport. Okay, so first you have to clear it. Okay, so stand away, crack it for a second.
Okay.
Alrighty. Next, attach your gauges. Be sure to stand clear when you're cracking that. If there's anything in there, you don't want it to be rocketed out at you. Alright, so.
Okay. Okay, nice and snug.
I lost my big crescent wrench. I know I have one somewhere. Alright, now
okay. So now that the gauges are on, we need to hook up the lines. So
comes with the lines and the regulator. That's what's awesome about this setup. So here is the line, the hose. That's connected to the machine first. Come on, you can come closer in. Alrighty, so nice and snug there, not too tight, but you do not want that loose. And coming up here to the regulator. Alrighty. Let's see, I should have a wrench for that one. Let's see. Don't think that. Tighten it, not too tight, but.
okay, it's good.
Alrighty, so now I've got the camera on. Now that the gas is hooked up, it's time to put the correct drive rollers and everything on. This is set up for 035 out of the box, and since I'm running 025, I need to swap that out. So first, loosen that, pull that up, loosen the outer wire guide. Set that aside. Now there is a little black X-type plastic thing right here. If you can see, slide that up so it's in line, so you're able to pull the roller out. That is the 030 and 045 setup. Okay, or roller. Sorry. Now this is the inner guide for 035. Now I need to put in my new 025, which comes with the kit. That's what's nice, is this is set up for everything right out of the box. So here is the 025. Put that in. Now I find the 025 roller. Put that in its place. Push that securely down, slide that X back over to block it so it can't come back out. Alright, now your inner guide is installed. Now, you know what, let's leave that for a second. Now it's time to plug in the gun. So next is you loosen this thumb screw here. Slide that guy in, slide it in securely, install the thumb screw, lock that in, not too tight, and now put in its little plug under that. It'll only go in one way, so don't worry, you cannot plug it in incorrectly. Plug that in and then tighten its thumb screw. Alrighty. Now, since we are going to be putting in new wire, you want to straighten this out as much as possible so the wire can feed through easily. Now, just a quick tip, when you're changing wire after you've used maybe a spool or two, and let's say you're doing innershield, quick tip would be to blow out through, unplug that end of the hose and take like a air compressor and blow through the inner liner, and most of the time the wire can leave little bits of dust and everything, and that'll get clogged in the liner. So if you clean that out every couple times, you should have no problems. So take off the ends, the contact tip and the nozzle, so the wire can feed through easy. Now next is, since I am running MIG, I need to switch the polarity. It is electrode positive, ground negative. Innershield is opposite, so that's what it's set up for. So I am not doing innershield, I am doing gas shielded MIG, so I have to swap that. So this cable, the short one, on the positive. And your ground is now the negative. Feed that through the front hole. Slide that around. This is the tool-less design, so you need no tools for this full setup. Anything on this machine is all hand tools only. That's the cool thing. No special tools needed. Your hand is the tool. So feed this other end of the ground cable through the hole and the clamp. Get that guy through. Undo the top nut. Put that on. Alright, so now gun is set up, ground is set up. Set up for the 025. Now it comes with the little tiny spool, not tiny, but actually a good set of, or a good amount of 025. But I have this bigger spool here, so I'm going to go ahead and install this one instead. If you were to install the little one, you take this big plastic piece off. That is for the big spools only, like I will be using. Now let's look at how this wire spools. You want it to be, the wire to be coming off the top and coming down, so yes, it comes on like this. Push them on. Oh, come on now. You know what, let's take this off and see if that makes anything easier. Alright, so now that is on, the spool is on. Put this back on. It's a little tight and I didn't want to risk it this time since this machine is brand new. It was easier just to take that spool connection off instead of just pressing it on. So, put it on, tighten it. Now we're going to come back and tighten this after. You don't want it too tight to where it's struggling, but you don't want it so loose to where it unravels afterwards after you let go of the trigger. So we'll mess with that in a minute. Okay, so that's ready. Okay, so before we coil out the wire, we need to plug in the power cord. For this video, I'll be connecting to the extension with the 120 cord. Since this is the dual, it comes with the 230 or the 120, so if you need more power, you're set, ready to go. That's the coolest thing about this machine. So plug this power cord into the back. Tighten its thumb screw and it will click when it goes in. You know it is good and popped in. There's no guessing on that. Okay, we'll wait to plug him in. Make sure everything's ready to go. Alright, so ready to feed the wire through. So make sure it's off, low power. Everything is low right now. Okay, now plug the machine in. Okay, now as you are feeding the wire, you want to hold this spool very, very well. You do not want the wire to just unravel on you and go crazy. Lose all your wire. That sucks. This thumb screw is loosening. Get that out of the way. Alright. Okay, snip off the end of that. Feed it in. Make sure it goes all the way through. And into your gun, into that little hole right there. Just go in a couple inches. Now once that's in, the wire's not going to unspool. Be very careful, you don't want it unwinding now. Put in a little bit farther just to be safe. Alright, so tighten this top thumb screw down a little bit. Not too tight, but just not too loose, you know. We'll see here. We'll tighten it up in a minute now. The outer guide. Put that on. Turn the machine on. Turn the wire speed just a little bit. Now let's watch the spool. Make sure it goes. Make sure it's feeding cleanly. Okay, now that's going. I got to keep this straight and wait for the wire to come out. Slowly but surely. Oh, and there it is. Okay, now you get your 025 contact tip. And your gas nozzle. Slide that on. Slide the gas nozzle on, and you are ready to weld. Or at least the machine is ready to weld. Then you attach the clamp to your workstation. Get your settings set up. Turn on your gas, which I will have another video showing that in a few minutes here. I just wanted to show how the machine gets set up, but here you go. Machine is ready to rock. Let's adjust this here. It needs to be a little tighter. You see how at first when it got a little slack, you don't want any slack, so keep that tight. There it is. Good to go. Actually, a little tight. All right. Thanks for watching.